Hello and welcome, and I'm really pleased on Reggae Global and Culture Showcase. We have Diane and we have Cleon, and we'll be talking about the Harlesden Walk of Music project. Good evening to you both.
Good evening.
Good
Good evening.
evening.
Hi. So let's start at the beginning. What is this project about? The Harlesden Walk of Music project, and of course you're both directors of this project.
Yeah. Yes. Good evening, Rudy. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cleon Roberts. Our project is called the Harlesden Walk of Music. We created this project about 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago. And the reason why we created this project, we are both, I'm from the Windrush generation. I'm a child of Windrush. And then also my father was in the music business, which is an integral part of Windrush history. And we just thought of, well, the area of Harlesden is significant when it comes to legacy, history, community, Windrush, and industry. And there are there's a phenomenal amount of history that came from Harlesden. And we just thought when I say we, as a team, as a collective, which consists of four of us, we thought that we need to do something about this. And what we found, over the years, that this Harlesden in particular, and there are other areas, and we just thought we don't want Harlesden to be another casualty, so to speak, of where an area where our history and our presence isn't documented and visible. And we just found that it's quite sad. So we're going to do something about it. But on the back of that, there's also the Reggae tree, which is based in Harlesden, which is a standing point significantly for the West Indian community for music, first and foremost, hence why it's called the Reggae tree, which is the Diane Shrouder-Johnson, who is part of the team of Harlesden Baseline, is the Reggae tree ambassador. And how the project actually came into fruition is I was invited to speak at one of the anniversaries of the Reggae tree, and that was 2 years ago. And just noticed and just thought, no, we need to do something about this. And it was just one thing after another. And we put our heads together, and now we've built on this. And then we started with a documentary film, which I had realized that a music historian, his name is Kwaku, made a documentary about the documentary is called Documenting Music History in Brent. And it was just like a light bulb moment. And I thought, well, how can the best way to sort of show people, and especially like the councillors and the community, and to sort of twig their memories, because people forget a lot over the years. And I thought, well, what's the best way that we can do this is, why don't we show a film? And this film was created by Kwaku, and that was made probably about over 20 years. And in that film features my father, a lot of the music artists, DJs, record labels, music artists such as a very young Carol Thompson, Janet Kay. They were all very young. Daddy Ernie, people like that, Robbo Ranks. And then also on the back of that, you've also got, so it's not just reggae, you also have Brent also had a significant number of music artists from alternative music, which were some huge bands and artists such as Boney M, Galaxy, Snap. Lee John also comes from Brent. So you've got like a melee of artists, and you know, Guppy Ranks, you know, on the reggae side, you know, LA Gray. You have so many artists that came from Brent. Frenchie King, you know, is one of those that came from Brent, a brilliant artist. And there's so many others, Simrans, you know, I could go on and on and on.
All evening.
It's a wonderful, a very, very, I mean, Brent is the home of Black music.
Yeah.
So there's a tremendous amount of successes that came from Brent, the footprint of Brent, that are the footprint of Brent. And so we screened this documentary film, and it was greatly received.
Okay.
And we also had, you know, entertainment, and we had Big Zeeks, who does a lot for, you know, he's a young guy who does a lot presently for the young community. And it was just so well received. So here we are, when we formed our team. Over to Diane, please.
So Diane, can you explain? There's a voting process as part of.
But before I explain that, Rudy, I'm also gonna talk about community. All right. Yes. So I was born and raised in Brent. I'm also a community consultant, and I will touch on the reggae tree as well. So the project. So we say we're turning up the baseline. We say turn up the baseline. That's, you know, that's our slogan. Okay. So we're turning up the baseline. We're turning up the history. So it's a project. Harlesden Baseline is a project where music is at the heart of it, but it's also about the Windrush generation. So it's about the community. All right. So it's about you know, the businesses. So my late father was one of the business owners back in the 70s. We've got Avant-Garde, you know, who's been there for 46 years, George has, and other businesses as well. So it's about the past, the present, and the future. We had an event in January to celebrate businesses in Harlesden. So music is at the heart of it. So going on to the Walk of Fame, all right, that's a part of the project, as I say, music being the heart. So what we have, we're having, we've got Paving Stones. So the council are going to, they're actually giving money so we can actually place paving stones. So there are artists that we've chosen and record shops that we've chosen already, and we're asking the public to vote. Okay, so we have a link that's on. We share it on our social media as well. We've also got it on. There's also Brent Council's website. It's on. So we'd like people to vote. We can post the link. Or give you the link, Rudy, if you're able to share it. People can go onto Brent Council's website if they want to contact us. We're on Instagram. Cleon's the expert behind the social media, so I'll get her to share the actual Instagram, and so we can be contacted via email if people have questions as well. So it's about getting people to vote. The voting's been extended until the 5th of October, and then by next year, I think it's March, we should have those paving stones. We are also going to be having a mural of Cleon's dad, Sonny Roberts. So we have an artist that will be painting a mural as well. So it's the Walk of Fame and the mural as well. So this is phase 1. So we're hoping to have more paving stones in the future and more murals as well.
Yep.
Okay, so you've kind of explained what the main driver behind the project. So having done all of these activities, and particularly with the competition, what are your long-term goals as it relates to these activities? What's the legacy that you hope to have left behind?
Right, so Rudy, so one of the things, the reason we're doing this is when we look at Harlesden, it doesn't reflect the history. Those who came before, Yeah, and you know the community. It's about the past, present, and future. But the aim is to you know let people see the rich history of Harlesden, and it's about intergenerational because you know if we don't document or you know make our history visible, it will die out. So we want future generations hopefully to keep that legacy alive. Yeah, so it's about you know it's about legacy and keeping the legacy alive, keeping our history alive.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
and
what you will find is how we're going to keep our history and legacy alive is by visibility. So it won't just be paving stones, there'll be more visible, you know, notice boards, totems in the area, and that's what we're planning for. We're pitching, well, we're planning for a museum. That's the next thing, and that's how we will keep the legacy alive, is to have a space, because as I said, there are hundreds of musicians and artists, and sound systems as well. We mustn't forget the sound systems, that were, you know, we would be totally lost if we didn't have the sound systems, because they were the ones who were playing the sounds and
yeah,
promoting
they were
music.
distributing the music, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an integral part of the system.
Integral part of it. And then also on the back of that, you also have the industrial area as well, which were the factories. So we had McVitie's, Walls, Guinness, Heinz in Harlesden. We had British Rail that was in Harlesden, which was an industry which was run by Caribbean, the Windrush generation. So you're talking thousands of people. And then you also have the other pioneers, the people that contributed greatly to our Windrush history and our Black history, i.e., there's a woman called Miss Wilson who was a piano teacher. The Sickle Cell Society are in Harlesden, which not many people know. In Brent, they are
Yeah,
based in. You've got BBMC
40 years.
in Brent.
Yeah.
So there's a significant, a rich history within the whole area of Brent. So we are hoping to do that space, because we can't give everyone a paving stone, but that you'll be able to come to this museum space and you'll be able to read about these people. We're hoping that it will be interactive, educational. We're also hoping that you can hear their music as well. So, you know, because I come from a music background, it's so important to give back to these artists and to support these artists. So we're hoping that you'll be able to hear their music as well, which in turn will give them royalties and
Yeah.
assist them, you know, in their careers. So that's what we're hoping for, and that's how we will keep the history alive, is by having the visibility, having a space, the extension from the paving stones.
I guess a key thing in terms of legacy, also important, how are young people going to be involved? And I guess in the beginning, how are you going to engage young people? And then having engaged them, then how are they going to be involved from a legacy?
So we want sorry, we want to connect with schools as well. I mean, for example, even the Reggae tree, when Cleon came to an event where we were doing a workshop where children made a reggae tree. So we'd like more of that, you know, creativity, conversations, engage, going into schools, using the library spaces, yeah, to actually, you know, turn up the baseline on that history. So it's intergenerational. Having, you know, maybe conversations, young people and elders having those conversations. I think there's so much that can be done through creativity, engaging the community. And both myself and Cleon have that connection to the community. You know, so I think it's conversations as well. Yeah. Panel discussions, just opening up. Because I speak to a lot of young people and they do have an appetite for, you know, to learn more about history. The little ones, they teach us as well. You teach them something, they'll go out and tell everyone else as well, because they get excited. So, you know, that intergenerational is so important. So going into schools, using library spaces and other community spaces as well to you know, to host events.
Okay, and finally, if
Sorry, I just
go on, Cleon.
touch on what Diane said. And what we have already started to do is that through the project, we are giving the younger generation opportunities, i.e., in videography, photography. We supported a young man and he did our videography and our photography, and lovely young man, Micah. And then there'll be others as well, and they've learned so much as well. And on the back of that, we will mentor these people, these young people that we bring in. And we discuss that during our meetings. How can we get the young people involved, i.e., by workshops that we're hoping to do, events that we're planning as well, bringing them in as well. So that's also.
Well, that's good, because it is important to provide that, what we call pathways to opportunities for young people. They've got great ideas. And of course, we want them to inherit that legacy from the past anyway, because that knowledge is indigenous knowledge created here in the UK, coming down from the Caribbean. It's really important. So I wish you both well, and very well done.
Thank you.
Just before we go, if people want to get involved in the project, can you give us some contact details?
Okay. Well, you need to vote. First and foremost, the voting lines close on the 5th of October. That's Sunday, the 5th of October. So you can vote online if you go on the Brent Council website. And then you just follow the prompt and you scroll down, and it's the Have Your Say link that you need to click on to find the information about voting. And then you just follow the prompt, you click on vote, and then you make your vote that way. So we really, really need the public to vote for these artists, vote for your favorite musicians and artists and pioneers, which is so important. And then also to contact us, you can contact us by our email address, which is Harlesden Baseline. That's BASSLINE, Harlesden Baseline @gmail.com. Or you can also contact or DM myself, the team, via Instagram, which is Harlesden Baseline on Instagram as well.
Okay. And Diane, is there anything you'd like to add before we end?
I would say please vote, but also share the link. Share, because this is about our legacy. So we really need to turn up the baseline. So please don't just vote, share the link as well. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, both of you, and very well done.
And I hope you voted yet, Rudy.
I have a few times.
Good. Well, you can only vote once, though. But I hope you're sharing.
We're sharing now, of course.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.